Substitutes.
Hey everybody, Brian in the house. Look out. What up, brother? Good to see you. Or whatever this is.
Just relaxing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment, just getting prepared to start my shift. Just listening to a little music, getting in the right headspace. Excuse me, getting ready to shift into gear.
Your shift of complaining about how you do the same thing over and over, lol.
That's it. That's the one, Brian. You got me figured out. Well, to be fair, the only reason I said that is because Division is a game that talks about diversity in their builds. And yeah, the diversity, they got plenty of diversity, but not if you want to win. If you want to win, there's no diversity. Unless you want to hide behind a box.
You're on board.
Yep, oh, I am full throttle, 100%. Yeah, the only diversity is if you, want to hide the whole time behind something and just like I was doing later on with the skills. I mean, gosh, isn't that boring? I think that's boring anyway. Just my opinion. That's why I like it when they add the little touches, like how they had that red line overdrive. Man, that was awesome. It gave you the available. Man, the pestilence even felt good. I mean, it gave you you know, the power to use weaker builds and make them strong. So they got to keep doing stuff like that to keep it fresh, because that was again one of the funnest times on the game since the 2 seasons ago modifiers. So, but that's Division for you. I'm not complaining because, the game's going
It's
on
nuts how fast
10
the
years
game
old.
went downhill, in my opinion.
Oh, well, yeah. I'll tell you what happened. Everything was perfect until there was a time when they changed how. So each item, I don't know if you remember this in the beginning, each item had a talent in the beginning, and you could have a talent on every single item. I don't know if you remember that. And you would set your build up on the reds, blues, and yellows, and it would be 3, 11, 7, right? 3 red, 11 blues, 7
Yes, I
yellows.
remember.
Right? So, and that was the build, and that was the build across the board. And it was the best time for the division. Everybody was even. Everybody had the same, chance. It wasn't hard to get that build together. We all had the same thing. And that was back when I played on Dark Zone, which my videos for that are all on my son's YouTube back before I had my own. But that was the best time for it. The game was so amazing back then. It was perfect. It was great PvP. It was even. It counted on your, because what it was is you had to rely on your gun game itself, the actual skill of you shooting. It wasn't about, oh, this dude's build could just be way better. There was none of that, unless you were new to the game and you came in with us, and then you would get your ass kicked. But once you were at the top, everybody was even. And then they decided to completely revamp it, changed totally how all the talents worked, and moved them only to the chest piece and the backpack, and changed all the pieces, and changed how the reds and blues. And dude, ever since that day, they ruined the game. That was the one move that started the downfall of the division. And then they could never get their feet back under them, I don't think, after that. So they just kept heading south. What I don't understand is why no game can just say, "Whoops, our bad. We're going back to the way it was." If they lose numbers, right? If something happens and they lose players because of something, I don't know why they can't. It's like these companies just have too much pride to ever say we made a mistake and we want to go back. And I think that's the true sign of weakness, is not just being able to say, "Hey, damn, I was wrong. Let's fix this right now." And I think Arma has a chance to do that. And it's not like they have to go all the way back or anything. There's some good additions, but they need to, weed through that stuff and kind of straighten out and get it back to the traditional PvP where we were actually fighting. The last weekend, I mean, we tried. We played all weekend. How many battles I know you were there. How many battles did we get into? A handful. The whole time. It's insane how they've taken the fight out of the game and made it all about logistics. It's like the whole thing's just logistics now. Me and Keith were talking about it earlier, and he even said the same thing. He was like, "It's like, yeah, as soon as we cap Calvary Hill, the game
Yeah.
starts ending. Like as soon as you get far enough to, because you have to push forward a little bit. But so as soon as you get far enough out to capture Calvary Hill, by that time the game's already getting ready to end. It's wild, and it's not fun. They've taken the fun out of it. The only fun we're having is because we're just great friends having a good time together, which we could do on any game. Arma, we don't need Arma for that. We go do that on DayZ or on any game like that. I still love how Arma's, movement, the character, the usage of the character is. So I'm trying to just, do what I can with them, and hopefully they straighten it out. But this new style of conflict is just really, really done a detriment to conflict play, in my opinion. And from what I can tell, I would say 95% of the people agree with me, because I've seen nothing but negative comments everywhere. I only hear negative comments in the
It has.
game. I mean, and I'm not saying that there's all negative, but there's no like positive where people are like, "Oh my goodness, isn't this so cool? Like I can be a commander and I can do paperwork." Though nobody's like that. People are dealing with it or they're unhappy. One of the two. I don't see anybody overtly zealous over this. And as a company, I mean, if it was mine, I would look at it and go, "Okay, hold on a second. What did we do?" At least, at the very least, okay, here's what they could do. They could say, "You know what? Let's just have it both ways. Let's have classic campaign or classic conflict and HQ commander conflict, right? That would be the perfect fix. And then on the classic conflict, they could just up the itchies like what they did, or the AI, and make them a little better, make the bases better, and just, the subtle things on there, and leave the rest of this stuff on whatever that is. And then see, that could be a great test to see. Just put them up against each other and see which ones remain full, right? And then they would know. We could get a look, and then I would know. I would like to know. I would like to see for myself what people would choose, because I can't hardly believe that anybody would choose HQ command over classic conflict. There might be a few people that like bossing people around or something, or that don't actually like the PvP aspect of the game. If you don't like the PvP aspect of the game, then maybe that is helpful for you, because now you get to do a whole bunch of stuff before any PvP is ever going to happen. Anyway, shall I go on? And you know what? I think tomorrow we're going to touch base on a lot of these topics. So this is very important stuff here. We got to talk about it.
I'm not a fan when one person control how the game goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or the other way is, Brian, here's the flip side of that. Everybody ignores it and everybody's off doing their own thing, and then no bases get built up, supplied, or done because it's not like they're just itchies waiting to be taken over. Like we could just go and bang them out, right, and have them set. No, now you have to count on someone else going and doing that. How can you count on other people on a video game like this? It's bad. It was bad enough just counting on them to just be team players on Classic Conflict, right? Just to be a good team player. Like come on, man, help us out, you know? Bring a few supplies in. It's not that big a deal. Come down here to Morton and help us take this base over. Just those things were hard to get people to teamwork together on. Everybody has their own agenda, and forcing teamwork on players, that ain't the way to do it. That makes it worse. And then on top of it, you have now with the loadout situation where, from what I've seen, there's a lot of team killing going on for loadouts. And people aren't going to be voting because they're going to be like, you know, meh, I'm going to do it, right? If I'm going to team kill for a loadout, I'm not going to vote a guy for team killing for a loadout. So what's that going to do? That's just going to grow it there, grow it and grow it and grow it.
It feels like a job, lol.
It feels like a job, yep. But that's okay. We all got to put in our time somewhere.
It's kinda like days in that way.
Yeah. Yep, so who knows what they'll do? Who knows? I'm sure they know. I'm sure they've gotten a lot of feedback. I don't know if I just don't play with that many Xbox or PC gamers because I don't really hear them talking about how they had and they played the, you know, the trial, the beta or anything, and how they really liked it and how this is awesome and they're so happy. I haven't heard that. Maybe it's out there, maybe somebody else has. I haven't heard people saying that. Almost everybody's super confused. And I get it because it was not easy to figure out how to do this stuff. And then I want to, you know, I want to.
Because it won't run on Xbox. Lol.
Oh, yeah? So they didn't even play it then, huh? They weren't even doing it. I mean, the campaign's fun. I think they could make a 6-player co-op campaign scenario.
Crashes every 2 minutes.
Oh man. Oh, I heard that. Is that like on the Xbox Series X or something they were saying or whatever? Yeah. I heard people saying that. That the game
Really?
was unplayable right now on some people's Xboxes. Yeah, it was on Reddit or something, Brian. If you go and look it up. Or something like one of those. Maybe it was Steam Community, Reddit, like one of those gaming um, dialogue pages. Or a complaint page or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. What do we want to start with here? Let's see. Billy wants me to build a wall with some sandbags. So I'm thinking about trying that, but I don't. I should be able to do that. Yeah, let's just go into Conflict Everon. Bum, 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 bum. And try it and see if we can get some sandbags here and throw them down.
Billy needs a nurse's station.
Billy, Billy, Billy. Yeah. No, Keith needs the nurse's station. Keith's the new nurse in the group. Keith is our resident medic on duty.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, on this, like, how are you supposed to play this solo now? You just doing everything yourself? You gotta vote yourself in as the commander? In the midnight hour, man. More, more, more. With a rebel yell. Mm-hmm. Look at that tiny little fella. He's an itty bitty little guy. Whoa. Are we having whoa. Why are we skipping? Huh. Look at that. I can't even go to things. Wow. We have some serious lag right now.